Kristen hasn't. She just got to work today. Her voice starts to come out.
She needs to go because I know that she's fine. It's gone.
Stuck it down.
Yes.
She likes to have some income ones. Yeah, yeah. She said she would like to know like that. Very good.
I she has to work.
Yeah, she's got that name. So she's a little behind. Like
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the city council work meeting for December 2nd. Any public comments on matters on the agenda?
The only thing I would say is it seems like this is kind of all clerk stuff, so. It's stuff that I think in the past have probably just, the former mayor, and we just took care of it, but it seems like maybe that's not what. I mean, that was the way I took it from the training I went to, the process that I was supposed to follow, but it sounds like maybe that's not right, so I just put everything on here.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Yep, sounds good.
So first item on the agenda is the claim for the damaged sign.
Yes. And I talked with Matt Heidegger. So we have $1,000 deductible. That was another thing I wanted to talk to you about. There's $1,000 deductible, so I don't know if we would just have, if the sign is still good enough and we just need to put it in a post. If it is that going to be more than $1,000 and enough more that we want to file a claim, or?
I think we should post to the ground. Way cheaper than that, don't you?
What sign are we talking about?
So, you were gone.
Yeah, you were gone. Okay, the sign over by the Troy jail. So
Oh, like a waypoint.
yeah, hit and run, and we took that sign out and the post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there is a police
There was a police report made.
and yeah, and I sent in a claim. I'm sure it's just a strict process.
Well, the last couple of those, because usually we've had 2 other ones get hit, and they're just chintzy aluminum, and it gets all bent, and you can't straighten it because it just snaps. So we just pulled those out and set like a 4x4 wood post and kind of mounted on top, so it wouldn't even be close to $1,000.
The person not having insurance that hit it, we don't know.
One piece of black steel. They won't run like
Someone's concrete.
Yeah.
We stressed out.
So you'll come up with a plan, Ward, and let's.
Yeah, we hopefully get it back.
Propane bill for the generator, looks like this is for the camp road.
No, the camp post we have always paid for, but the generator that is for here, that has always been for dispatch, did come to us, but it was taken out of dispatch's budget. I didn't realize that because we changed propane companies, so I paid the bill that we just got, and it's like, wait, the $1,100 of that bill is for the generator that's always been under dispatch. So I don't know if that's something that we need to bill back to the sheriff's office. If we need to.
I think they're gonna pay for it, so dispatches in here.
But
Well,
it's for.
Yeah, because it still keeps up all the stuff in the closet there, all their radio stuff, their towers, all that stuff.
It's still.
Yeah, and in fact, the undersheriff called me and was kind of concerned because who does upkeep on the generator and all the stuff there, because we need to keep that going forward.
Sounds like a wonderful bill to pass on to the sheriff's department.
That was right now. Accounts, that would be the better option, I think, but paper for him, that's.
Can you call under sheriff and track that down, since he called and talked to you about that earlier?
You betcha.
It does not power this building and fire off.
It does.
So what if maybe a split thing then, because he does, I know, like for us.
You know what?
No,
No.
it's not.
That generator runs everything.
Okay.
It's
City. I mean,
But I thought in the
Check.
past they got split between dispatch and the city, the cost of the propane, honestly. I thought in the past it did, back when I was on the dispatch board. I thought it was a shared thing, so. Yeah,
look
but.
like it's all dispatch.
Because I know it keeps us on too. So like I've been up there in my office working way on some of the power kits. I'm like, oh, dang, and it gets better. Generator. So I know it powers us too. So.
So no, it was doing all on dispatch, the last bills that I had seen, so. I just.
Well, if it's doing fire department and everything else, we probably split the bill.
Trips.
Good follow up that, okay.
Huh?
Good.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Do you want to just do the AFR contract in a special meeting?
Nope, we can do it here. So the AFR contract, again, this was something that I did. Because when I was hired, I was told Tracy had mentioned that, yes, we would need somebody to contract to work on the AFR. She had talked about it being Montana League of Cities and Towns. I think they're talking to make sure that they have that option service. So again, I started this whole thing with Chuck that said we needed to do that. I was hoping to, well, the first time I had talked to Jody Rogers at MLCT, that I was going to try and do that with her. She was going to train me on it, but with Sharon needing to take time off, using up her vacation, and me being on my own right now, unless we can get somebody hired to help out, I don't see how I could be very effective working with her. So when she did the contract, I asked her to put the contract just as doing the whole thing. So that's where I was going with it. Under Chuck, I know you have talked to Tracy for Tracy to do it. I just have some concerns. One, from the way it looks for the city to hire back someone who left. And just in other conversations, so I don't want to say from here, that she brought it up and now she's going to benefit from it by getting hired on. And if we are hiring her on as a contractor, does she need to have a business license, a business name, be bonded and insured, things that we ask contractors to do.
We did this with Clint, didn't we? Clint come in as a consultant. I can't.
Nope, we've never paid Clint, not for me.
No,
Well, was it before you were?
no, there was a,
Because
no, because Clint couldn't. When Clint retired, there was a time period where he couldn't come back to work for the city due to retirement guidelines, or Dennis can probably speak very knowledgeable to that, right?
No, there's certain periods you're not allowed to come back, or work contract or do any business with the city.
That's retired though.
Yeah.
Well, there is an MCA that says they have to be gone for a certain period of time before they can come back for an employee, not just from retirement. So I don't know that number. I mean, I have it. I've written somewhere. I didn't put it in here though. We'll think about that.
Anything else? Anyone got any comments?
Well, and then the other thing I know, is there any concerns and what do we need to do? If she's working on it in the evenings and on the weekends or needs access, what do we need to do to make sure that everything is safe, I guess, if she's getting in, logging into our sites?
Well, I'm sure we have to give Jody the same access, right?
Probably,
Yeah.
or she'd
And
have to
that's-
contact me, it'd be
And that's done
probably during
remotely,
the
and
same.
well, I mean, I think that's either one needs, you're gonna have to either forward or give access to. You have no idea what doing AFRs even consist of. So whatever either one of them request would be what they would need.
Yeah.
Access wise, whether it's Joey doing it remotely wherever she sits, or whether it's Tracy wherever she's sitting to it. So,
And I did talk to Jody, she said that there wouldn't be any travel, I think that's just a thing they keep in their contracts.
Would, the Montana City be able to do it during working hours, so if you do
Yeah.
get time, you could kind of,
Yeah,
hey, how did this go?
Yeah.
Or, I'm thinking, because if you can learn from it, then it would benefit, even if you get partial knowledge versus no knowledge. So,
yes, that,
because,
I understand.
okay.
Well,
Because if it's after work hours and then say there was an issue, then now you're paying overtime for access to, so it's just another thought, so.
Is there an estimated amount of time for Jody? I mean, I see that there's an hourly rate, but should she say how many days, how many hours it's gonna take?
yeah, she had, I don't know, see, I have it so quick. Thought I put that one in there. Her email, like, sent how many hours. I don't know, so just. She was estimating 30 to 40. So 1950 to 2600. And since I've been talking to her, she said they are in the process of hiring more people to do these kind of things. So that she thought that she can't guarantee it's gonna be less, but she thinks it would be less time if they've got, because they have so many people needing this, they're hiring more people to do it.
Is this something most towns normally hire out, or it's because, we're talking about, there's a lot of clerks that have been.
I think it's a lot of new clerks,
Oh,
you know. That are doing it. It's kind of both. There are some clerks that have done it for years. And some that don't mind doing that kind of work, but there are others that find out too. It's just kind of depending on where you are.
Well, pending it not violating any NCAs. I mean, the other option is a third of the cost, and we don't have the money budgeted, correct me if I'm wrong, to be
So you just got budgeted. That was the whole thing. Tracy said it needed to be budgeted to have the MLCT do this.
Was that because she knew that she was leaving? Because does she normally do it herself?
Yeah, she did it herself, and because she was leaving,
Okay.
she figured I would need help.
how much money's budgeted?
Oh crap. And yes, I meant to look. I don't know that answer at the moment. Well, not on the top of my head, unfortunately.
Council, you have any more questions or comments? Follow?
Well, I guess only my one thing is concern. You saying the other day that she thought maybe 10 to 12 hours. I question that only because I've heard that it is a huge process. And I've heard that it used to take her longer when she was working here full time.
She told you it would take her just 10 to 12 hours.
Well, it's in here as a lump sum, so whether it takes 10 to 12 or 25 or 200, it's a set price.
Cause she used to lock herself in her room for at least a month, right?
She had months to work on it and ended up, locking the door for a long time, working right up until the very last second. I was told she was working on the AFR behind the closed door. I can't
Okay.
speak to that.
Okay, we'll just kick this down the road. We're not gonna go into a big long discussion on prior employees' work habits in a public meeting. So we can't decide on it in one meeting anyway, so we'll talk more about it. We'll come in tomorrow and Sharon and Paul will talk more about it. Renewing the Costco account.
Yeah, this one, the bill has come up to renew. Tracy was set as the main person, so I tried to contact them to change that. And yeah, no. They're like, no. Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, so I don't know if we wanna just cancel it. And I reset it up. And try to make it where there's multiple primary contacts or something versus just one single contact so that,
Is it a business one or is it a?
since, yeah. Because it says Troy City Hall and Tracy Rebo, but they have her as the primary and they're saying that, I can't do anything.
Yeah, that seems like the option. They won't let you switch it.
Well, there's obviously there's
There's
some
some
changes made right here anyways, so you're changes regardless.
Yes, that was what scared me. I was trying to get in there to see how to change it, and then it wasn't letting me change anything, so then I called and. So, okay. So I can look at doing that.
You always had a hard time getting those to work. I think actually Katie's she was listed as Doopy White or stuff.
Uh-huh.
Maybe yeah.
I think Duffy and I are a household now.
Oh,
Like, yeah, it's really weird.
yeah.
But
I can move it around.
Without Costco.
Well,
Skip from.
so then this is. I remember Tracy had told us before that council members or employees can get an account. Who else? I mean, I see like Jeffrey on here. Was that as a reserve officer?
Family member.
Or that's
Same with Brandon.
Family,
That's his son.
Family members, husband.
so. But is it one fee per? It's $25 per name. For me, $25. Yeah. Yeah.
5, 6.
I see. Yeah. So that's the employee cost was $25 per name.
Yes.
It appears to be a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
So
After
6 feet.
that's primary person. And add on household member is free. There's no charge there. But they still were charging $25 per person. So you were getting 50 of the 65 of that.
Costco reimburses the city that much?
No.
So the city pays the extra.
Yeah. So, and I did go ahead and take this off of automatic renewal against the credit card. So that's fine.
When does that expire?
The end of December.
Okay.
Yeah. You need a new bathroom since they're.
So crazy.
That's why.
So is this more for the city of Troy or for the employees and everyone else that's on here?
It's So I know we order some of our supplies for the city through Costco. And then, yes, it is a benefit that the city was providing to the employees.
We cancel it, reset it up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Cancel and reset.
Yeah.
I will look into that.
On-call, part-time office position update?
Yeah, so we have, as of today, we have 10 applications for the position. Two of them came in today, the rest of them we had before we had given a deadline of the 22nd. And we had hoped to get a hold of them last week to try and set up, and of course that didn't work, with the short week. So we have 10, we need to go through. If we can get people in, get them interviewed, get them hired, and get them trained before Shara needs to be out on the 16th. I don't know if that's.
I've got a really good book of instructions.
Yes, you do.
So you'll have,
Yes, you do.
you'll have to set interviews up next week?
Yeah, two more.
Okay.
Later this week if possible, but I don't know.
What time do you come in usually? Eight? I'll be down at 8.
Right.
So you want to, on the council, want to be on the interview board? Yeah.
So you learn.
Scott, Shara,
Yes.
Paula,
Well, I don't know if people was scanning, but it depends on the timing, since one of us has to be in the office. Maybe 8:05,
I
so,
think we'll try to do that later in the day.
okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
so we gotta go over here. Yeah.
So you think the interview all applicants, or did you narrow it down to?
No, we haven't narrowed it down yet, but I think, yeah, we probably want to just narrow it down. There's nothing we want to try to narrow it down. That one is,
Narrow it down to 3 or 4.
yeah. That would be my thought.
Open council seat update.
So as of today, we have not received any letters for that. Just FYI, and I think the due date we said was the 12th. So, if you know of anybody wants to.
Moving on to whole business, extension status.
Yes, here's the information today. It should be in the packet. They finally sent back our audit extension request has denied. So I am not sure what we need to do now. I did forward, as soon as I got it, I forwarded this on to Nicole Noonan. She replied back that she's not in the office today, but she would be taking a look and hopefully be able to get something back to me tonight. We'll see. The other thing is their comment on here is that, well, one, it was 5 months beyond the due date of the last extension. And then they were saying that, apparently the city's been aware that the auditor has a pattern of not meeting the audit due date and yet continues to contract with the firm. I know when I started, that was one of the things that I got told was that we need to look at getting a new auditor. When I went online to, what is it, Local Government Services, I think has the listing of, approved or whatever auditors, her name is still on there. So ironically, if there's an issue, is it just with us or is it her with everybody she does? Because I would think that, yeah, her name shouldn't be on that list, but anyway, that's beside the point, I guess. So that's where we're at. So I have a request out to Carrie that sent the information to me, at local government services, so hopefully she sends something back to us, to me to say, okay, here's your next steps, this is what you should do, but that's where we're at.
Is there anything in Nicole's contract about any
Oh,
kind of
thank
penalty
you.
for?
I was trying to look through that today, but I kept getting interrupted, so I did not get that, but yes. Thank you, I was on that track and then constantly throughout it. Thank you.
She's got myself not getting grants, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would say we would not be able to write any new grants. I know the one for the growth policy, I can't process any reimbursement requests to until that's cleared up. And I don't think we can for the slip grants either for the well house or the meters. I don't know if this impacted RMA at all. I was wondering that, and I didn't get a come to the meeting to ask. Anything, so.
I think you knew we were under that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't know until the
Yeah.
person for the growth policy grant told me. So, yeah,
That'll affect the meter reading grant that would be out there. So
hopefully not, but it's good.
looks like you're gonna attract a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So let's find out about Nicole's contract on completion.
Yeah.
So if you reach out and get a quote from the other vendors that you got a list from, you brought that up.
Yeah.
Not the road, so or something. Showed us that list so we can
Yeah.
see if Nicole may be close to closing this one out. And so we can get a grants, so. And
Yeah, we're giving her a lot of leeway. Anyway,
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
it's enough, doesn't it?
cut grant implementation timeline.
Yeah, I know, Travis had asked about when he would be able to start hiring. Or, put out to hire. And I was not sure what we wanted to do, because I know I had sent out my questions about the implementation, which I never got any answers back from the people at River Script.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I don't know in that front yet, and I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on it. And I was just trying to put all the old business stuff that hasn't been.
Yeah.
Mine.
I thought did we have 6 months to implement after accepting? Is that,
There was a time, there was a time, and I can't remember the exact. But 6 months sounds about right. So.
so I guess we put out an offer or put out a job opening for a fourth officer. Start that process. We've accepted the grant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, work out.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure, you might possibly be looking at that too. Michael's applying for MHP, so he's done through all the testing and so we've gone through quite a bit of it so far. He's got a few more things to do before he sees it.
Still in process of.
Yeah, so he just had his final just had a final interview yesterday, and then they told him It needs to be on for physical, site valve, another written test, a lot of stuff like that. So if he gets through all that, then I would imagine he's probably gonna get an offer.
Okay. Did they give you a timeline on those?
I haven't heard yet, so he just found out, so he's waiting for an email from
Okay.
on that.
Yeah, let me know when you hear, so we can kind of plan ahead if we got it. If it comes through, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's hire Lynn, she'd make a good cop. You're nice.
Annexation of 118 East Caldwell.
And it is west. I did in all my notes east, and I kept saying, oh, that's not right. Well, again, I was just keeping this on the old business. That process has to be a. And I think they said what's that term? What they have to do.
Oh, they submitted the paperwork, I gave that
Yes.
to you, the request.
Yeah, but
Now
what's
we
the
need
petition
to,
thing?
we need to,
Petition. Now we need to do the ordinance.
we need to do a
Yes.
public hearing and a
Public hearing and
resolution.
Is it resolution? I was thinking it's ordinance.
And I'm not sure which one's first. So they submitted their petition, so we
Okay, so we do have that, yes. So the next step is on this.
We're gonna do 3 public reviews.
If it's an ordinance.
I thought it was 2 for an ordinance
For an ordinance,
And 2 then 30 days after,
yeah,
so it's about 90 days.
and we've got to have a public hearing in there too.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
It seems like it's a resolution, it's
It's like a city law. Yeah.
Big resolution.
So it's right. Yeah.
And Ward, you can support that, hooking up with water, is that correct?
Sure.
What am I supporting? How?
For children. Oh, I'm not in possession anymore.
Luke Jones, right there, she's been talking about that house going up to.
Oh, for him, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, cause they were. Well, you guys know the history, I guess, they, long time ago when Holcomb's had it, they had water put in.
Yeah.
They couldn't connect to the sewer, cause they were supposed to be out there seen before, and well, they just never did, so. They're just now hooking up the sewer, they were already on water. But not in the city limits, so now it's kind of a necessary thing, I mean, yeah, I support it.
You can support it.
I'm online.
Highway 2 and Iron Creek 14.
Yeah, this is one that kind of got lost because I know, we got the information so that we can do that. I think we have to do an ordinance for that one.
Makes sense.
And so we'll have to do the 90-day thing, but
I thought that one was already, because it was on the state highway, the state already approved it, and they said all it was getting the paint to the city guys and having them paint it. I didn't think it was anything.
no, we have to, but I think we have to do the ordinance
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
As soon as we have the ordinance, then yes, they will give them the paint. Then they can't do it. Yeah,
So, my post, did you know that?
yes.
Okay.
Anything between east side of town, Callahan's all was incorporated when the state came through, but going out that way, there wasn't enough traffic during the traffic study to include anything out there. So one thing we probably need to look at is any other intersections that we missed. Sure that in the ordinance also.
Hold on just a second because Zoom went down.
It's the Dollar General account.
It's just a Zoom.
The storage units.
Boy, it's really quiet in here.
Yeah, sorry.
And I've told shut up.
Did you do that?
Still out from here with a wildfire. And it's trying to do a bunch of stuff. Stop. Sorry, goodness. I try to minimize the camera, then it shuts itself off, so I don't want to do that. And so we start.
Recording in progress.
It's like a car radio when it was turned on, you know, and you not saying, you turned off, no. Climate control. It's a pond.
Okay.
You calculate.
I'm back in. I don't see anybody in there. No, so.
Yes, you calculate.
Comments on number two, parking. Working. Thoughts on that? Have paintbrush?
You make that yellow paint says.
Moving on, bullpen at Roosevelt Park. I think the last thing we talked about is getting a spot marked out down there to ensure we didn't have any utilities that we're covering up.
I said, yeah, you'd be coming up with your sprinkler lines, the control lines.
Yeah, there's, that's the thing, like the control lines and or the control wires and the sprinkler lines and stuff, I mean, you have an idea, but it's just kind of a dig careful and hope you don't hit anything situation.
I think it's all gonna, there's not gonna be.
Yeah, there should be no drainage,
excavation.
it should be
It's
surface.
just surface, okay,
Yeah.
it's should be fine, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it's whatever they wanna do.
I'll get with Jason and
Yeah.
have maybe set up a time this week to go down and mark out a spot and then you can see it. So
Okay.
verify if that's okay, if we're gonna move it one way or another or something. No?
It'd be nice going forward if they can make sure they keep the dugouts clean. Cause last year Scott even saw the high school boys team threw all their stuff into the little leagues dugout, and so we were having to pull it all out every game. Cause they were just, I mean, it was trashed, so if going forward, if someone could say something, make sure it stays clean, I mean, it's not just their field, it's the Park and Rec's field too, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Not the city of Troyesville. I'll make a point, talk to the coach about that. And then Rosebud subdivision, any comments on that? That was,
Yeah, I don't know if we need to keep that as an old item because I think he needed to start with the owners, right, to his part first, so I don't know if we even need to keep it as an old item. So we'll bring it back.
Oh, Jesse has something to say.
Yeah, there's gonna say typically somebody will amend the condition of a subdivision. That's something that the planning department at the county will handle. So if those requests come in, we'll take it, we'll do a little research into what they're looking to do and then can prepare a map for it and so then just give you a little background on it. And I think, yeah, anyways, Ken. Yeah, you've done this before on there, so the routine, so I gotta touch base with them on that.
It'll be perfect. No? Moving on to public comments on matters not on the agenda.
Yeah. Okay, so I gave you guys some handouts, so there is a pledge of securities that has to be signed so that First Montana Bank can get this $250,000 released. So they can use their money. This is money that they pledged for accounts that are over the $250,000 FDIC limit. Because ours is below that, it's not as high as it had been. This CD came due and they still have plenty of pledge in other areas to cover us. So they just want this one released. So I just need to sign it and send it to them.
So this money was attached to a bond.
Yes.
So do we know so is it a bond for project work or is it a bond for our?
It was the securities that they had for the money we have deposited with them.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, so all they need is to say yes, I'm fine because we have enough elsewhere.
Cause I think that bonds that we have 100,000. If I remember right.
We have a CD there for 250,000, and then we've got CDs that the credit union there's two of them there, about 100,000 each.
Okay, that's what I was okay.
So that's one. Number two is the paving. You got the bill today. DJ brought it in. The paving that he was doing, there was stuff, I guess, for Libby, for the county that he was doing, and for our stuff on Yak Avenue, the boat launch and the parties. So there were 10 loads that this amount, $1,079.14 for each of them was our portion. So that's $10,000, almost $11,000 that we have to pay. So
That's out of the water.
yeah, should be
Or money.
see. No.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
20 over 20 so it's just
Okay, so that just came in today, so I'm sure you will learn.
Where'd you find it?
what's that?
Find a door yet?
No. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Any other comments? We'll adjourn the meeting and go into our first council meeting for the night.
What time is it? Okay.
I have a question. I've been trying to not ask, but I need to ask. With this, I don't understand what the thing is with Tracy and Paula, where Tracy has to come in and do whatever.
So Paul is new to being a city clerk,
Right.
and at the end of the year, we basically have to balance our budget and make sure everything is distributed correctly and accounted for. In a certain timeline, and those Those are called AFRs and some other documents and everything. Paul has never done that before. And Tracy has done that since she's been hired. So we have two avenues to be able to help Paul out, and doing that is through organization, Montana. Yeah, see, yeah, that, and then or have Tracy do it. So we're exploring which one is feasible and which one to do, and we make sure we get the budget done in time. If we don't have our final reports done, we have to pay money. We get there's fees attached to it, late fees, and
So why wasn't Paula trained for that before?
we had no turnover between when Tracy left and by the time we were able to get Paul on.
Yeah, she got thrown in
Yeah.
to the wolves.
Yes.
Right, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was like, no. Come on,
Well, they
you
did it.
do this.
Yeah, it was open. I mean, just sat there meetings a while after you got in there.
Tracy gave her 30-day notice, and then
Was gone.
yeah.
This takes, yeah. There's no way to train a clerk on everything that comes to. Yeah.
I know she was thrown out to the wolves.
Okay, there's some people.
We'll get through it though.
Yep.
No.
Can I have a question though? I got a question to ask, and I know you know what it is. The stop sign on Bar Street, how do I go about getting one? Because when you go to the part of our street, when it crosses by the, I don't put up and down streets, I should. What, second, put a stop sign there, and because when you come, people come around that corner without slowing down, and when they're going this way, they don't slow down. So I know there's a corner there, but when they hit the part of Bar Street, I mean, how many on cameras watching it? They're flying. They're doing way more than like 35. They're in the 50s, 60s, and they go through it. They're on it, and they're going both. And unfortunately, it's Bar Street, which is people backing out. I drink and I've been almost hit so many times it's not even funny coming out when you're trying because the trucks are parked in and you edge out. And then when you start to get out, and you're like halfway out, and the people come around the corner, they don't even slow down. They still go behind you as you're backing out and you're doing everything. But when you started backing out, you got there was nobody there. And so I think that like making it a three-way stop would be a little bit slowing them down a little bit on that because if you're only I mean, people cross all the time and everything. You're on borrowed time on an accident there.
Well, and also the way the trucks in there, the butt ends stick almost out to the middle of the road.
They do.
They're so when you come
I
around.
watch on the cameras where people like 3 feet from those trucks. They're in.
Because I know
they're
they're
all
on there, go way out and around.
Yeah.
And you back in so I get to this.
And so, but just a way to slow the traffic on that street.
Yeah.
And there's one excessive family on that street just past it that has no concept of the speed limit. And so, especially the kid, which, you know, as a kid was too, and I've violated all those laws. But as an adult, shit, there's going to be an accident. And it's like I said, it's not always the person coming out of the bar. It's usually the person, because like I said, I backed out and there's nobody, and then they still almost hit you because they don't stop. So if they have to at least slow down so they can't hit that corner at 35, 40 when they come whipping around, you know, and just, I don't know what it takes, what I have to start doing, but I want to start getting the process.
I think the first process is Trav, reach out. Maybe do a little traffic control there.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody whip around there that fast or anything, and I go up to quite a bit, but I'm not there every night.
Right.
You can only be hours.
And I'm not walking my dogs, so I see it all the time.
Yeah. So, see if you can do a little more presence there. So if you have a certain vehicle, let us know. So give it Travis and go from there. If we can't correct it, it's through positive reinforcement of tickets.
Sure. Yeah, I just sometimes sit there and I have a camera. I can see it really well, everything. And when I'm out there, I see it too. And it's just like, geez, you know.
Okay, I'll give it Travis more on that. Here we go. Paul, you ready for the first special meeting?
Yes.
All right.
No, that's all. Thanks, guys.
Well, I think Paula's doing a great job. To be honest with you, we had some trouble at the park, and I went down and I went to Paula, and the gut came down and everything was taken care of. I just think she's doing a great job, and I appreciate her.
So we're gonna start our first special meeting, for December 2nd. To immediate follow the work meeting agenda, and this is to go through the RPA agreement. And, any public comments on matters on the agenda. So this agreement is between RPA and the city of Troy, and this basically puts us under contract for the stormwater work that RPA did on behalf of the city for the stormwater permit for Dollar General's engineering service. And this is a pretty standard contract language between the engineer and the city. Was a final print, but it actually puts us under contract for them to be able to do that work, which will have to be amended because they were in town today. And they performed a stormwater inspection at Dollar General. And everything went well with that. Everything's in for plan. RPA took some measurements, did some elevation checks, and walked the entire site with the Dollar General contractor, and didn't have any issues. Everything was working the way it was supposed to do. Pipe sizes were correct for what the plans called for, and everything. So
Okay, so we'll be getting another contract to sign, or do we need to sign?
I think they'll probably amend this one,
Okay,
and then because they'll add it, or they'll send a second invoice out.
okay.
I'll ask Chris, so we can approve this one as is, so if they do bill us for it, we can pay it. Since this one's, I think, they've been holding this for a while.
Yeah.
And then if they want to bill us for the second one, I'll just have Chris send us a second invoice. And then we can do that through claims. So I'll ask for a motion to approve the RPA agreement between the city of Troy and RPA.
I'll make a motion.
Scott makes a motion,
I'll second.
Sean a second, all in favor? Everyone? No old business, any comments on matters not on the agenda?
I had a question, last time. On this contract, does this extend beyond the Dollar General project? So, no, okay, sure. So from here, informed if there's a new subdivision in Troy, then they would just have to go through DEQ.
That would be my preference, and I think that would be everyone's preference on the council.
Okay. Perfect.
Unless I guess it's city of Troy project, so. It would be the only time that I think we would use our engineering services to do that. So that I would pursue. I'll make motion, or I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion.
No second.
All in favor? Unanimous. All right, moving on to special meeting number 2. Following special meeting number 1 on December 2nd, and this has to do with the Henson subdivision. And anyone have public comment on matters on the agenda, which we have Betsy here from the planning department to walk us through the procedure and application, which we talked about during the last meeting. Turn it over to you.
He's out. Usually the same. Ultimately, most of the signatures through. All right, as you may recall, I presented this project last month's meeting.
Yeah.
And the council had decided to table it at the time, but there was some comment and some dispute on the property itself. So just for a little background for anybody that's new, the Henson subdivision is about almost 5 acre parcel just right at the base of Iron Creek Road. And Henson's had applied to create 2 lots for that parcel. There were around 2 existing homes on that lot. The council had granted preliminary approval back in January of this year, and along with that, 8 conditions of approval that once those conditions are met, then they can be granted final plat approval, and the plats will be recorded clerk of the recorder's office. So here, the last meeting we presented it, and they submitted documentation that they had met all 8 conditions of approval, which were all pretty straightforward, mostly dealing with conforming to state law. So other things, they had to treat the property for weeds. Long-term weed management plan being submitted with the final plat. They got EQ approval for stormwater retention. They also marked floodplain in any areas of 30% slopes in the areas on the plat. Beyond that, they got 2 new addresses, and everything else was just basically formatting mailings. And so with that, as far as any dispute goes, and I mentioned previously, over the sale of the parcel, that would be, essentially a civil matter. As far as the process here, Bob Henson is the legal owner of the property. He's applied to subdivide it through Title 76, Chapter 3, Montana Subdivision Planning Act, and it's gone through that process, and he's met all of those conditions. So then, as of the date we determined that they have met those conditions, then the governing body had just 20 working days to make a decision to approve or deny the subdivision. So, but again, regardless of any other civil dispute, we see no reason why anything that would include the household and make an approval as far as subdivision. And of course, if there is a dispute or anything like that, boundary line, that's that can always be worked out later with the boundary line adjustments at a later date. So at least at this point, parcels get created and ready to move forward.
And like in your email, you're usually saying if we don't follow the procedure and we continue to kick it down the road, then Henson's have a liability against us.
Yeah.
And like you said, the application was filed, all the conditions were met, the process was followed, and we're then in the process to approve it. Civil matters between the 2 parties is between them. It's not for us to decide. We can't decide it, so it's not ours. So if council, you have any questions? I will ask for a motion to approve the Henson subdivision and accept it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? No, amendments? No old business, any, public comments on matters not on the agenda? Signature, that's. Yeah, I'll grab that here, so. Okay. Do I have to put that afterwards? Fine, but. If this is what, you guys. Any, comments, on matters not on the agenda? That's for motion to adjourn.
Any question? To adjourn.
I'll sign that. All in favor? Minus. Moving on to special meeting number 3. December 2nd. I'm sorry, what's that?
I was like, are you messing with me? I didn't get a special word.
I'm back. I'm very back.
Like there should be.
All is double graded.
It's me. It's Tony.
Oh, it's yeah. I almost went to meeting number 3. That our message in my packet single sided, so simple. It's really. So moving on to special council meeting number 3. Public comments on matters on the agenda. This has to do with the AFR contract, which we discussed in detail at the work meeting, and I think we should table it. Well, will be my comment.
To figure out if we need to retire business license and that type of thing.
Well, we do temporary business license if we had to.
Yeah.
So. So did you want to have any comments on that? We beat the horse enough?
What's the last date that either party needs to know in order to have the information to finish it on time?
I'm not sure the last date. It's due the 31st of December. If it's not done the 31st of December, it's a $75 fee or penalty. Yeah, late fee. I had asked, what impact on anything, but I haven't gotten any information on that. Just that there is a $75 rate.
Per day or per week or just this?
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to figure this out this week because we need to
Yeah.
get this wrapped up and have a plan moving forward for this.
Yeah, the sooner the better. So
So I'll ask for a motion to table the AFR contract.
Make a motion table.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Sean is the seconder.
I'm a second.
All in favor? I don't want to raise my hand anymore. You want to know old business, public comments on matters not on the agenda? I have one comment completely unrelated to this. I want to thank Clay's crew for all Christmas lights that they put up last week. It looked good. It looked very good.
You said everyone to do, so waiting on stuff, we'll finish City Hall. So we're not doing the Garmin anymore, we're doing, you guys are in the Eco V lights.
No.
So they're a permanent light that you can mount along the roof and then you can change it for the seasons.
4th of July, 4th, whatever you want.
So, and that'll stay up on City Hall, so that way we're not up there every year. And it'll be done, so.
You guys doing kids this year?
That's, they just called me today about that, that's kind of.
I think it's in junior high doing it this year, not the elementary.
Yeah. We got through a curveball here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is,
Yeah.
so this has to do with the lights on the trees down here. We talked about this a while ago and it kind of fell through the cracks and the wife asked me today if they decorated the trees and she totally set me up for failure because at 4 a.m. when she was on her walk, she noticed that the trees were not. So she was testing me today.
So maybe they actually
Yeah.
walk by.
I don't.
No, because normally the snow gets with us before Thanksgiving, lets us know a date.
What happened, somebody at the junior high, from the elementary school, was not a bunch of happy kids, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the high school doing a strong involved in it or something. So if we could next week set a date to decorate the trees, we may just try to get some volunteers. Clay's busy this week with all our generals setting the transformer and getting them hooked up. It's priority to get that done. Ward, I mean, that's to see if you guys can help out if
Yeah, sure.
Clay's guys are got
Yeah,
something going on.
We're, like I said, we're pretty busy through the beginning of next week with the stuff we got lined out. Hopefully, middle to end of next week, if we can get together. It's just with John being hurt and it's just me and Sterling, everything's magnified and it's a lot to get 3 guys with 2 guys. It's just that much more pain. So,
So
yeah, we're trying to get everything caught up as much as we can, but I mean, yeah, it's every time this year, at the end of the year, people are wanting everything done right away. So, uh,
understood.
we're getting out that soon.
And we'll
So,
plan better next year.
so it's the middle schoolers.
And high school, I think it is too. So
Oh, it is.
So we only have so many trees, and even like one of the decorations were stolen last year. So like we're 1 tree short.
so we got 6 out of 7.
No, we had like 14 trees.
So
Yeah.
so we have
Yeah, so I don't know how many, like, are they, like, how many
I
class?
don't know what they're gonna break up into, I'm not sure, I just read the memo myself.
Also, I mean, the little kids were fine because they're respectful, but like, I'll be out there also. If the big kids get a hassle, I'm just gonna shut it down. So,
how many trees do you have that you can decorate?
14 or 15, I think I have to count. So we've got the gnome tree, the little one, and so we don't decorate that one. We didn't put any lights on because it would be Charlie Brown tree hanging over it. So,
So
yeah.
if you can, like in the morning, let me know and I'll let the wife know what the calendar is.
Yeah.
And then
And then just as a reminder, we say this every year, have them put nothing out that is dire and important to them. Because every year I have 1 teacher or 2 teachers that go, well, that was a priceless family heirloom. Well, it's gone. Like you set it outside. Like there's nothing I can do about it.
well, I think last year we also said, hey, come get it or it's gone.
Yeah. So if we could enforce that again, also that'd be nice because it is a lot to take all the decorations down. We're spending at least half a day to a day out there. So if they're not gonna come get their priceless heirlooms, I mean, I can't track down each teacher. So and Nicole's been helpful. Normally we just show up with a box and go, good luck, it's all mushed together now because of the paper.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get it decorated at some point next week. And if they've got a date for decorating, actual decorating, as soon as they know, that'd be helpful for us to plan that out.
Oh, I
So, yeah.
Alright. One other thing is when we talked about dumpster is we have to arrange, we had dumpsters at the park. And they're no longer all single use dumpsters were removed by the county, so school dumpsters, single use dumpsters, all that, so we have to get our own contract with Evergreen, so we can have a dumpster down there behind the city shop. And that way the park post and city guys can dump, catch trash coming out of the park and everything else, so.
Yeah, we don't want to put them in the park because just today at Dollar General working, I saw 5 people show up and throw their trash in their dumpster that they have.
They
there.
do that to school every day.
Oh, I know, and I even said something like, you know, they're paying for it, right? Yeah, I know. Okay. So.
You're setting lock one up on top of that hill very much.
I
bet.
So many Idaho places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet 80% of them are from Idaho.
So I did talk to Mr. Hammond about that today also, and they're gonna do some personnel swapping around up there, it sounds like. And then they've talked about creating an ordinance, I don't know, what county law about Idaho out-of-state dumpers or out-of-county dumpers in there. I know I brought it up a year ago when this first came up about closing down sites and everything, but it's still on the table for them to be able to create the long-term solution for the county is to take the dumpster service back over at the end of the 2-year contract. It's just gonna take them 2 years to get trucks, dumpsters, roll-offs and stuff like that to be able to do it. They can't just go out and do it right.
It's a lot of money to spend at once.
Yeah, so. I think it was the board, they were saying county did it at one point, so.
Yeah, when I was like saying when I was a kid, my dad used to drive the county garbage truck once in a while. So they used to do it.
No other comments?
I forgot. Isn't there an ordinance that we need to maybe refresh people's minds about parking during the winter months for snow plowing? Did that get passed?
Pretty sure it did. So, I think we did in spring or.
Yeah, we were actually looking today. There's a couple folks we need to go talk to, but the hilarious thing is it's the same people every year. So
Yeah.
they're used to seeing us.
You know what? The gentleman that just walked in can take care of that.
Yeah.
It's all about.
Good.
Yeah.
Can you get some of the big like bright orange stickers that are like on the board side, like can't see out of the car?
No, that'd be their excuse why they could move it.
Yeah.
Any other comments? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Special council meeting number 3.
I'll make contact with her.
Is that Sean?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
That's something we could do at the school. We'll give a little kids baseball bats and say, go have fun. Maybe they'll get the ink.
Ball game hammers.
The middle school.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of baseball bats and some beer.
Wow.
Sure, yeah.
Share.
Sorry. Anyway, you said go to summer second.
Sure.
You said thank you.
It's great.
Talk so much time.
What's that?
I heard that was his name, right?
Okay, I'll give you the best.
Yes, I gotta, I should.
Yeah. What do you think?
And that's just, you're wrapping right into it.